JP is the head of exterior design at Bentley, and they gave him the task of redoing the Continental GT. Tell us about your baby here.
It's a good word, but it has been my baby for the last 3 or 4 years, along with the fantastic team and crew. A very big challenge, but a very big honour as well to redefine what is somehow becoming our icon in the brand. It's instantly recognisable as a Bentley. So the challenge was to take this forward, make it a very, very modern design statement, all the while making it unmistakably a Continental.
And one of the things I know that in talking earlier, you told me proportions.
Yep.
That's what you really started with.
Yeah, proportions, proportions, proportions. That was our initial fight. It was very, very clear to us we wanted to create the ultimate Grand Tourer. And to do that, you have to start with the proportions. So we have a fantastic proportion on this car. There's a couple of technical changes since the day's car, which has given us the freedom to create this fantastic Grand Tourer proportion. The first is that the front axle is being moved forward by 135 millimeters, which gives this fantastic dash to axle or prestige mass. This distance here, which gives the car a really true Grand Tourer
And you were
feel.
saying that they were able to move the engine back and down.
Exactly, so the engine has gone back and down, which has enabled us to push the bonnet down a little bit, but not too much, because every Bentley should have a very proud, prominent and strong front end, so it was important to keep that balance.
And I love these creases that you've added onto the car as well.
Yeah.
And I understand that it took some technology to do that.
Yeah, it's a very special process that we use only in Bentley. Now, we obviously have on the side of the car have the iconic elements of the power line over the front wheel and the haunch over the back wheel. We wanted them as sculptural and as sharp as possible. So we've used a very, very special process. It's an aerospace process called superforming. And it allows a couple of things. It allows this fantastic concave and convex sculpture, extremely sharp lines, but also there's no shut lines intersecting the graphics at the front, so it means that we actually have this seamless design sitting flush. And it's this feeling of quality, this perception of quality, which gives the car a feeling of a luxury product. We also have the same on the rear fender, so this is a first for the Continental. So today's Continental has a Superform front fender, but it does not have a Superform side panel. So this whole side panel here is also done with the superforming process. Extremely expensive, but it's worth it because look at the sculpture it creates.
It's amazing that you could get this depth of draw with this kind of a highlight that's so crisp.
Absolutely. So there's no way we can achieve this with the traditional processes. So of course, bespoke, luxury, handcrafted, it's all the words that you associate with Bentley. It's something that enabled us as designers to have the freedom to create this wonderful sculpture, these concave surfaces and these sharp lines, like you said.
And not having to braze different pieces together, just getting it in one shot.
This feeling of seamless design, this fluid, flush feeling, that's what creates the feeling of luxury in a car like this.
And I love what you've done with the rear end of this vehicle too. Let's talk about the tail lamps first, I think.
Yeah, I think the rear end is probably, let's say, the biggest departure from today's car, the biggest step forward. So we've taken influence from the EXP10 Speed 6 concept a few years ago. We showed it at the Geneva Motor Show, which took our design language a step forward. So of course the ellipses, which are synonymous with Bentley now, we've decided to take that graphic, purify it, and just have the rear lights as the ellipse, which mirrors the exhaust below. You also have this fantastic horseshoe, full width of the car, makes the car very wide, gives it a very prominent stance, and looks super, super modern. This graphic is fantastic for us because we think it will define a new iconic graphic for the Continental. You know, when you're overtaken by this thing, and you will be overtaken by this thing at 626 brake horsepower, you'll be in no doubt of what you've been overtaken by.
Many people will see this view of the car.
Absolutely,
this
will be the standard view from inside another car. Absolutely.
Well, JP, I commend you because you took what was a classic. You did not walk away from that design, but you created something entirely new.
Absolutely. I mean, that's always the balance when you're designing any Bentley, but especially a Continental. It's an iconic car. We wanted to push forward in design. You know, designers were always hungry to make the next step, but it was also about recognizing, you know, what is unmistakably a Bentley. It was a challenge, but it was also a privilege to work on it, and hopefully you like the results.
I do like the results, and thanks for taking the time to have this walk around with me.
No problem at all. Thank you.